I'm feeling better today. I'm gonna go to the hospital today and take some tests. And I don't want anyone to worry. I don't think it's life-threatening or anything. I just have had this kidney problem for quite a long time now. I'm glad that I'm finally going to be able to have medical treatment for it. Today I wanted to share with you a verbal rendition of my poem, The Age of the Image. I wanted to do this for people who are vision impaired, just in case there's no one who can read it for them, and maybe so that I can address them myself in my own voice. I don't want them to feel left out. And actually, if you want to know what I look like if you're vision impaired, I've done some research for you. I've closed my eyes and I've felt myself, so I feel my hair, and it kind of feels like candy floss, to tell you the truth. It's like sticky kind of candy floss. And my eyes, they feel like oysters, or maybe sunny side up egg if you touch the yolk, if you don't break the yolk. My nose is one of those long pointy ones. It's got a point at the end of it. It's kind of like a little miniature ski jump. It's long and thin. My lips, they kind of just feel kind of like lips, and they're kind of just normal kind of lips, I guess, average. And then my face, I don't shave very much, so my face is kind of, feels like a little bit rough, maybe like a wire brush or something. So I hope that helps you to picture what I look like. And now I'm going to read you my poem. I hope I can get through this without too many slip-ups. To you in the future, for your eyes alone, I'll share this account so the truth will be known. It is commonly practiced to keep truth on hold until a safe time for it to be told. I write from an age where the image prevails against better reason as justice fails. My whole generation is somewhat lost, and occasionally thinks I should carry the cost. I've lived as a hermit 1.5 years, and from my privations I've learned how to laugh. But they in their clusters have traded this gem for the modern amenities which amuse them. I write songs as well, and they set me apart, their thunderclap passion tempered with heart. But science has breached the artistic domain to the point of untalented swindlers' gain. Being possessed of superior skill, they trained me to work in the image mill, where math and electric power unite to infuse persuasion with brilliant light. I sailed through my studies with style and ease, but few of my teachers did my work please. In pure composition I shone the most, which I as an artist alone could boast. My poetic wit must have caught a few eyes, because not much later, to my surprise, in the home of my parents did someone reach, and with my words fill up the president's speech. Whomever it was, and I'm sure I know, used science to bolster his vast ego. For as boxes of light with my work propped him high, the same gadgets sentenced my own name to die. 300 pages of fiction hence, I set out again to my living commence, passing up hunger for pushing a broom, while my stories were sold for the crowd to consume. I say so from hindsight, for on that date I cheerfully found an oblivious state. Were it not for the particles thick in the air, at this plain occupation I might still be there. Destiny deemed that I from there go, that behind in my rent and with food running low, from my sorrows I'd fashion a musical burst, and against its competitors it would place first. Again retroactively comes this claim, because this generation is loath to give fame. For most, it's a dream to ascend to such grace, and they wanted to keep me suppressed in my place. Sensing my greatness, but with none to confirm, I chose to ignore it rather than squirm. I kept my voice silent, typed volumes of laughs, which by sharing cut broadcasters' laughs in halves. Apparently this drew the broadcasters' ire, and against me they jealously sought to conspire, sending their helpers to rush me on stage, as they stripped my great volumes of every last page. Their transmitters spread their disease worldwide, using my work to win all to their side. Clearly I had it before it was theirs, but the truth of its source was the slightest of cares. See how technology robs me of love? I put out my heart and I get back a shove. These monsters adorned in my overcome pain were taken for beauties who passed me their stain. My music still waited, but how could I play, as my scripts and my ballads were stolen away? Deafened by silence and at my wit's end, I withdrew my volumes to honor defend. It was late in 07, after 6 months on top, but the next day my legacy fell to a chop, to supply clever words and a music that rocks to creeps and release them like Pandora's box. It was done to make money, which you must have learned is the ultimate folly, or the world would have burned. But they pranced and they strutted all over my name on the strength of work authored in the very same. They held a sham trial to make them look good, and pointed to me as the thief and the hood. While I was so busy just paying my rent, I saw not their leering, nor cared what it meant. As my work's author, I covet it not, and the whole 18 months' worth I quickly forgot. As employers were slamming their doors in my face, the whole world was loving these frauds in my place. So it was by the middle of 2008 that I thought I might drown in a tide of hate. The telephone plagued me with endless cranks. The neighbors beset me with dirty pranks. Women recoiled from my glance. Children made fun of my checkered pants. Men daily threatened me with a fist, and I thought that my music must sorely be missed. My home got a pounding from ceiling to floor. Excrement piled up at my back door. But to these transgressions I paid little heed, and believed that employment was all I would need. But all I could get was a cringing post with the crooked employer who robbed me the most, though my memory failed of the former dispute, and unaware was I of their ill repute. This added more fun to the songs they took, for indebted to them is how it made me look. And recall what I said, how the image transcends to the lost generation of vanity's friends. They quickly used up their initial supply, and then laid me off without telling me why. Alas, I see now how it gave me more time to produce yet more music to add to their crime. But after that came back my works from the past, and my life had not changed since I shared these works last. And their party was over when all the world round the extent of their misuse of music was found. Behold the late date of this note from your past, for while 4 went to prison, their racket would last, and determined it's been to recover its loss, at the grievous expense of yours truly, its boss. The obstacle gone, I was free to create, with a face now long famous from 3 years of hate. I'd received special treatment as misery's guest, and from there I was treated the same as the rest. Though the fiends lapped up riches from music they stole, and imposed a profound psychological toll, in my direction came not a cent, for a monument to their conceit all was spent. Hoping to win a success for my own, I followed my heart till my music had grown to its former length, then advanced it by half, making better my new songs with my utmost craft. The machines of this time pushed the image so far that temptation to cheat, to make oneself a star, overpowered another to jump in my place as I practiced alone in a small storage space. The song that was taken without my consent is of harm brought by song thieves, a bitter lament. To me its sharp words resonate profound, but when image prevails, such words don't make a sound. It was 2012, but before its close, she would come to regret the fell course she chose, for a broadcaster widely exposed her sin, endeavoring the public favor to win. This farce unfolded as I was blind. To restore all my volumes, I'd turn my whole mind, sharing my insights as once before, forgetting what they had been next used for. The tricky broadcaster who'd at the start stolen the work of my tortured heart, against its own launched a bold attack, expecting to later get them each back. I would have said so if not in the dark. To a flickering image alone my peers hark. A whole generation had long been misled by the words in my volumes they first had read. The broadcasters used them my face to smear, and I suffered more leers for the bulk of that year. But now they contrive to put it right, with their victim conveniently nowhere in sight. They called upon friends and foes alike. Everyone had their turn at the mic. They drew a portrait from thin air of the one not invited to the affair. Then, as were targeted stars who stole, my face was stuck in as though they're equal. In the age of the image, this subtle blow is as crushing as cannons were long ago. This event happened behind my back. From a far-off location I had to track, and I protested loudly as soon as I heard to be treated so shabbily was absurd. They'd started against me, then come to my side. It couldn't be more visible that they lied. But their trusty projection stayed constant and clear as they put down their pom-poms and switched to a sneer. I visited lawyers and shared my ordeal. They said I would have to control how I feel. By passion I'm driven, but I did my best, and what's happened to cheaters since then you have guessed. The following summer of 2013, another two thought that they got away clean. But I'm pleased to report I endured pelting hail to throw both of their sorry behinds into jail. But televised pictures defy this account, and their viewers made sure that my sorrows would mount. As their brutal remarks have their way with my head, there's a very good chance I will hang myself dead. There's a pipe up there. That brings me to this time as I reach to yours, and to learn, I hope it wasn't too many scores, that the weight of the pictures which drive us in herds will forever be measured in numbers of words. Did you get all that? I hope so. That poem is called The Age of the Image. It's autobiographical work about my life, in rhyming verse. It covers roughly from the year 2000 up to the present, and I hope you enjoyed that. And I broke a front tooth here, and it makes me sometimes miss my S. When I say an S, it comes out a little slurred, like a sh or something, or a th. Sorry about that. I'll gotta see a dentist about that. And lastly, for people who are not vision impaired, I want to show you how I cleaned up the floor of my room here. Especially you firemen who had to come in here last week. I was so humiliated when you saw how much of a mess my room was. Actually, I was drinking with my friend there. Sorry about that. I wasn't expecting to suddenly have guests. And that's all. And God bless you people. I love you. And I'm going to be just fine, I'm sure. You have a great day now.